Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, and this here is my little craft corner where I talk about knitting and sometimes other related stuff. And today I have for you a very highly anticipated video, I think, within the knitting world every year. It is my Everything I Knit in 2023 video. For this video, I moved everything in my living room just backwards a whole lot. Like my couch especially, and just moved it all the way over there just so I could have like a little more room to show things. So it's a bit uncommon for me to film while standing up, so trying to find my feet here. Usually I'm sitting on that chair and you only see the bookcase and like a tiny bit of my desk, but you get to see the extended view right now. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's get into my what I knit in 2023. I knit 10 items, which doesn't sound like a lot, to be honest. I have definitely worked on a lot more projects, but lots of things are still unfinished. So they will be in the 2024 video. There are 2 things in this pile. You can already see the pile back there. So there are 2 things in that pile that I started in 2022. I'll be upfront about that when I talk about the item, of course. But yeah, I didn't have that many finished objects. Definitely did not have finished objects every single knitting podcast I did. Well, obviously, because otherwise I would have like 12 or more. But yeah, I knit a lot this year. I just didn't finish a lot, which might be fun to finally finish things in 2024, but we will see. Anyway, let's get into the first item. I've put my accessories on the top, like this is the entire pile. It's not too much. You can see a couple sweaters, a pair of socks that we'll get into. There's a hat in there, there's a couple tops, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But first of all, let me sure the pile is not falling over. I have these socks. So these are the Sunday socks by Petite Knit. And I knit them in some Pandulo sock yarn, which is from the Dutch craft store Pipo's in the Netherlands. And I love this yarn. It's pretty good, pretty sturdy. It definitely needs like a wash or good detailing. Stuff is felting on the bottom, of course. I'm not going to try these on, but let me just tell you, these are big on me. I thought with the ribbing it would like kind of cinch in a little bit and hug my feet. It does not. It's pretty loose, so I really only wear this around the house, just over other socks, but that's alright. I did knit this pattern again, but knitted those socks to my mom in the same yarn, and I made sure to go down in needle size. So these are knitted on 4mm, and for my mom I knit them on 3.5. They're definitely tighter in a good way. Like they hug her feet and my feet. We have about the same shoe size pretty well, and yeah, it's just a really, really fun pattern. I have some yarn laying around for another pair of this in different sock yarn, so I'm just gonna see whether or not I'll be sizing down in that as well. I think I will, but that's a 2024 project. For now, first finished objects is the Sunday socks. These are not really in chronological order, just on the order that fit in the pile. But I knit this, I think February this year, somewhere around that. Then, second of all, I have this hat, and this is my first finished object of 2023. I knit this with the help of AI. I did a video that I'll link up above where I let AI write a knitting pattern for me, and I knit a hat in that with that pattern. I still haven't woven in the ends, as you do, but the hat fits pretty, like it's a pretty big hat. But if I tuck it over here, I'll show you the back. It's pretty okay. It's an okay hat. I don't wear it too much. I can fold it up, and then it does help a little bit with fit. It's not my favorite hat. Did wear it a couple times. It's not my favorite. What do you do? This is knit with Scheepjes Roma hidden yarn that I got from my grandma. She brought over a big bag with this yarn in it. There was so much. And with this yarn, I knit my grandma a cowl. I knit my mom a cowl. I knit my grandpa a hat. My grandpa then accidentally gifted that hat to my uncle. Then I knit myself a hat. And now I have more than enough yarn to make like 2 other hats with the same yarn. This is knit up on 6mm, I believe. To be honest, I'm not really 100% sure. It is in the video that just was up here. Yeah, probably did 6mm for the pattern. Maybe 5.5, but I believe it's 6. Just pretty bulky. It's bulkier than what I like to knit with. But yeah, this is my hat. It's a nice pattern. It's a nice hat. It does the trick. Keeps your head warm. It's just not the prettiest, both in color, in fit, and in pattern. It's like AI made a basic stockinette hat for me, and it was a fun video. Then I have this one. This is my camisole number 6, one of my summer makes. The fact that I had to look for this for a proper 30 minutes before I was able to film this video probably says enough. I haven't really worn this too much. This is camisole number 6 by my favorite thing Knitwear, as I just mentioned, and I knit this on 4mm needles. Let me put it on. Let me show you how it fits. I did the bind off pretty tight, so I just have to work to get it over my body. Yeah, the size is nice, the length is nice. It fits me nicely. It's just a little itchy, not too much, just a little. This is knit up with 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together. One strand is the onion nettle sock yarn. The other strand is Lanakdosa Melonwijd. Yeah, Lanakdosa Melonwijd. And it's just 2 sock yarns held together. I am planning on knitting shorts number 1, like the pattern that corresponds with this one, in the same yarn. Just to have a matching set. Didn't get around to doing that this year. It is on my 2024 list. But this is a pretty cute camisole. I just finished it at a weird time, so it wasn't really like an appropriate time for me to wear it. Also, it's not really something that I would wear to an office, of course. So it's kind of in that weird, when will I wear this? Pretty much loungewear, but I didn't have many days off this summer, and it's a bit warm for that in the summer. So it's just, I'm trying to find the sweet spot for this pattern in my wardrobe, but I do really like it. You can see the like color variations going on. The back is a bit higher. I like that as well. The top is just cut out a little low. What can I say? I like this pattern also a lot. It was a fun pattern to knit. I believe it is 6x6 ribbing. Then, moving on to the next one in my pile is this lovely tank top camisole that I tested for Carlijn from Carlijn's Corner. This is the Thank You Very Much top. And I knit this in like 100% cotton, which I do like, but I also hate. And let me tell you why. It just doesn't hold shape too much. As you can see, like the top that I put underneath for this video and my bra both extend to here, so this preferably would extend to here, but then I have just some extra fabric going around. It's probably my fault because this is a made to measure pattern and I'm not great at measuring and believing what the measurements tell me to do. I'm currently knitting the Musselburgh hat. Side note, I doubted myself, or I doubted the pattern so many times already, and we're not even halfway there. Like I forwarded it and I deleted it just the same. Even texted the group chat with all the girlies who knit. Many people in the group chat are knitting Musselburgh hats, and like, has anyone else had this issue? Does anyone else like not trust the pattern in the increases? And everyone's like, the math is correct, relax. Should have done the same with this. The math was correct. I did not have to put so many stitches in the underarm, because if I hadn't, this would just cinch in like this, and that would be pretty much perfect. But I am very stubborn, and I thought, no way, that's gonna work out. Let me do a couple more stitches so I have a little bit more room underneath the arms. But now I cannot find a proper bra to wear underneath it. It's the whole thing, it's really annoying. Still need to block this. I do like how this turned out, even though I didn't follow the pattern in that either. I knit this too long, like should have cut it off probably over here, but I wanted to do a bit more increases because I thought it wouldn't fit like around if I didn't do a lot more decreases and a lot more casting on underneath the underarm. But you can see it's like there's so much fabric left over. Maybe cotton and I are just not friends. I don't know. Do love the pattern, do love the color. Just again, I need to find a proper space for this in my wardrobe. Because I've worn this out a couple times, but I've been very conscious about this, like going inwards too much when I'm out. But I do like it. It is pretty short. Let me just stand back a little bit. Like I can make it longer by tucking it here, but then this happens over here. The fit is off, but we do still love it. Pretty much just a around the house item for me to wear, and I do like it for that. It's just, and I do like the color a lot. I'm really happy with having knit this. Just wish I had listened to the pattern and not knit in cotton. But yeah, what can you do about it? It is a pretty cute little camisole, and we love it. Next up is this lovely t-shirt that I tested also. This is the Wayfarer tee by Woodlands Knits, and this is such flowy yarn. I like it so much. This is a silk blend. I'm not too sure what it is. I do know that, like, I'm saying a lot, I don't know what this is, but a lot of information is in the podcasts that are somewhere on my channel. But this is knit up in a silk blend by Third Fault Yarns, and I love this a lot. Let me put it on. Let me first of all take this off. I'm wearing the same camisole underneath here that I wore in my 2022 what I knit in 2022 video, and I think it is a great camisole for trying things on and off, but yeah, don't know where I was going with that. Just a fun fact, I am wearing the same camisole that I was wearing last year for doing this video. Yeah, this is the back. This is just a very lovely t-shirt. I love the ease on this. I love the length. It's just a very cool, breezy pattern. This yarn, just don't know if it was the perfect blend of yarn and pattern, just because this is self-striping variegated yarn, as you can see on the bottom. Let me just take a couple steps back. You can see the stripes being formed here, and around here you can see some pooling going on the top over here, especially the back of the shoulder. That's just increase purposes. This is a raglan tee, so just doing a lot of increases. Then you have a little bit of pulling, like this is stripes, pulling, very tiny stripes, and just regular stripes. for the rest, I really like how this turned out. I really love wearing this. Haven't worn it a lot. Again, I finished this end of summer, beginning of fall. It wasn't really t-shirt weather anymore, but I do plan on wearing this a lot the upcoming warmer season. I really like how this turned out. This, I think, is a great addition to my wardrobe. I also love this yarn. I got it from my parents. They very kindly got it for me when they were on holiday in the United Kingdom this year. They gifted me this yarn very kindly. I'm so happy with it. It is really smooth. It is such a cool yarn also. I believe this will keep me nice and cool in the warmer days, but still provide me some warmth during the colder days, you know. I don't know, I really like this. If I have to say one negative thing about this, I just wish this was a little longer. Not really a huge fan of the neckline, but I think it's alright. Don't know if I wanted it to be like this. Did know that in the test we had a couple issues with the neckline fitting, because it first wouldn't fit over my head and then it was like too wide. I don't know, there were a couple things going on, but I think if it was like this, that'd be great also, but then I would have loved some more armhole depth. But for now, this is just very lovely also. Do like it, just wish it was a little bit higher, but that's just personal preference. Yeah, really happy with this one. This video for me is also just saying like, oh yeah, I made this. This is so cool that I get to wear this again, because I wear my sweaters a lot, but my other knits are like really seasonal. I don't get to wear them a lot, especially it's colder now, so I haven't worn a lot of these things in a little while. So it's just like, oh yeah, I made this, now I'm falling in love with it, you know? I don't know, I think it's really fun. Then we have the next item. This is also a test knit. And this is the Amadeo summer sweater by Colibri by Johanna. The lighting is really off because it shows up as brown, but it is like more of a reddish brown color. Let me take this off again. Carefully. Yeah, this is the back. This has been kind of a staple for me. I love this so much. This is a summer sweater, but I've been mostly wearing it during fall. You can see the lovely lace details here. They're just going down the entire sleeve. It's a bell. Not a bell sleeve, it's a balloon sleeve. They're just going all the way down the arm. And it is a balloon sleeve, so it cinches in very nicely here. And it falls really nicely on my arms. It's a raglan again. It's kind of the same fit as the other, the t-shirt that I just showed you. But on this, I do like the fit a bit more. And on the bottom, it just goes straight down. Just flaring a little bit, lovely, positive ease. And yeah, this is so nice. It is a summer sweater, as I just mentioned, but have been mostly wearing it during fall. A little bit during winter, but it's a tiny bit too cold for that with the like lace work. And I knit this in 100% wool. This is Lana Grossa Kubo Melange. And I got this like over a year ago. But when I saw, like, I got this April 2022, this yarn. And I was just looking for the perfect pattern that would blend with this. I was thinking cardigan, but then I saw this pattern coming along and I was like, this is perfect for this yarn and I want to make this right now. So luckily Johanna from Colibri by Johanna again approved my test knit application. I have tested for her 3 times now. But this definitely is my favorite pattern that I ever tested from her. And yeah, it's just an incredible sweater. I don't know what to say. It's really plain here, but then lovely detailing down the arms. I have definitely made like a couple mistakes, like over here with the lace, but who cares? It is handmade. You can just see it's handmade, and that's fine. Let's get into the next 3 items. I know I've only shown 6 right now, and I have 3 left, so that makes 9. I'm gonna explain where the 10th item is at the end, but just know I'm aware that I'm showing 9, but I said 10 in the beginning. There's a reason for that. Let me take this off first. This sweater is one that I casted on in October of 2022. And I finished December 2022. I ran out of yarn. I was like on the edge of being finished or not finished, or not too sure. Thought it wasn't long enough. Wanted to block it to be sure, but didn't get around to blocking it until October, November 2023. So this technically counts as being a finished object in 2023. I'm counting it because it didn't get its moment to shine in 2022. And I did weave in all the ends, block it, and do the bind off on the body because I decided it was long enough. So I just did the bind off in 2023. So it's a finished object for 2023. Taking off my glasses because I did the bind off on the collar a bit too tight. So we're squeezing in. Yeah, there we go. This is sweater number 16 by my favorite things, Knitwear. And I love how this turned out. I knit this in one strand of, it's not fingering, it's not DK, it's maybe sports weight yarn, I don't know. It's on 3.5mm needles. It is Katja Basic Merino, which is a merino acrylic blend. Not the best for knitting a sweater. Wouldn't say it up front, but look at how gorgeous this is. So look at it. It's definitely long enough. Like I can tuck it in, no problems. I prefer tucking this sweater in just because it is a bit of negative ease. And I like tucking in that a bit more. This is what it looks like tucked in. Sometimes I take it out a little bit. I've worn this a couple times already. And it's just the perfect kind of Christmassy, kind of wintry. I don't know, it's just a perfect sweater. And I am so glad to have finally finished it. This is a saddle shoulder construction, as you can see over here. It's beautiful, it fits me perfectly. I could have even done the sleeves a tiny bit shorter, which is unique for me. As you will see in my last 2 finished objects, making the sleeves like long enough or too long is super unique. This is my sweater number 16, and it was one of my dream knits. When I started knitting, I'm like, I'm gonna make this. I bought the yarn for this pretty early on, like summer 2022, I bought this yarn. And then October I cast it on and then I just went for it. I love this so much. It's not itchy, doesn't sweat too much. It like sweats a little bit because it is acrylic. But I feel like the acrylic wool blend kind of makes it work. That makes sense. I don't know, it's just a lovely, lovely sweater. And now I have to take it off again. Just the taking on and taking it off part of the sweater is not too great. And yeah, as I mentioned, I did the bind off on here a bit too tight. Because end of 2022, I wasn't too knowledgeable on bind offs, cast-ons techniques. Really funny to see how that has like grown a little bit this year. But yeah, I still feel like I'm not super knowledgeable on all this, but we're moving forward. This is a pretty recent cast off. I finished it like a week or two before Christmas. Like, no, 1 week before Christmas. This is my Moby sweater. I have cast this on in September, I believe. I did most of this in 2 weeks. Then I abandoned it for 2 months, and then I did the rest in 2 weeks again. Pretty much like that it went. This is my Moby. As you can see, the sleeves are okay if I'm like this. When I'm standing like this, the sleeves are okay. If I'm going like this, they're super short. Like, I would love them to be like this. They are just not there. That's fun. Might redo that. Might like go back in and knit them a little bit longer. Not too sure. Maybe the cropped sleeves. It's not really cropped, but maybe the shorter sleeves are nice. I don't know. Not too sure. Thought I was playing yarn chicken. I wasn't. I have half a skein. Half a 100 gram skein left over. So we're fine in the end. But this is my Moby. The length is pretty good as well. I can tuck it in if I want to in the front. It's like this. And I don't know, it's a really comfy sweater that I have worn a lot. As I mentioned, I finished this the week before Christmas, which was, I think it was on the Monday, so that might have been the 19th or something like that. 19th, 18th, around that. I blocked it and then I blow dried over it to have this finished before the Christmas party at work. So I really wanted to wear it to that. I wore it there, and then I wore it for 3 days straight, pretty much. Just around the Christmas break, Christmas holidays. And yeah, I love it so much. It is a little bit itchy. I knit this in Novita 7 Fiesta, the like nature line they have in the off-white-ish color. I love how this looks. I love the details. There are not too many mistakes in this. Like, I would have loved it if the color was a bit more flat. It is standing up a little bit. And on the back, I made a couple couple cable mistakes here. So I had to pull it out and then redo only this, which was fun. You can see it a tiny bit if you know where to look, but if you don't, that's fine. And yeah, this Moby, I love it so much. I recently finished it, so in my latest knitting podcast, in my upcoming knitting podcast, I'll talk a bit more about all the details surrounding it. But I've talked about this in previous knitting podcasts, so I don't feel the need to go into much detail right now. Like, I've gone in detail about this sweater pretty recently, a lot, so yeah, there's not really much more to say about this. I just love how this turned out. It is a great Christmas sweater, winter sweater, whatever. Be aware that there's not too much positive ease for this sweater. It's just like, it's not like next to zero ease. Like definitely the previous one I show you had like a lot of negative ease. This has like a tiny bit of positive ease. Just be aware when you're knitting that. If you want a sweater with a lot of positive ease, size up. Then the last thing I finished this year, because this was also a cast on of 2022. Cast this on about exactly a year ago, December 29th, 2022. Then I knit on it a bunch. And then I like dropped it again, and then I continued knitting on it a bunch, and then it was finished. So This is the sweater. It's also not cropped, maybe a little bit short. I don't know what to think of the sleeves because they are pretty like wide, but they aren't pretty long. So if I hold out my arms like this, they're definitely like bracelet length. But if I stand like this, they're pretty long. Hopefully, I don't know if you can see properly. Yeah, they're pretty long. But I find that when I'm eating, these sleeves are really kind of annoying. So I feel like if they were indeed like this long, that would be even more annoying. I think these sleeves are perfect. The body could have maybe been a bit longer, but I also kind of like this short, flowy thing I have going on. I don't know. Really like the sweater. This is kind of a staple knitwear item I wear. It's something I can easily throw on if I want to like layer over something, or I can wear it casually around the house. I can wear it to work. I can wear it like anytime basically. This is a great, somewhat casual kind of thing to wear. There's one mistake in this, and it's bugging me, but not too much. I don't know if it's underneath this armhole. You see where it is? No, other arm. Yeah, it is over here. I missed a cable turn right here. It's not too noticeable because like I mostly have my arms down, of course, so it's not really too noticeable, but it is something that I notice sometimes, and I don't like it, but that's okay. So yeah, this is my final finished item of 2023. The sun is really going down. I don't know how great this lighting was, but it's just the time of year where the sun sets really, really quickly. So sorry if the quality wasn't too great, but this oh no, I forgot to mention. Alright, so these were the 9 finished items that I have right here with me. I have finished one more item, but it is currently not with me. I have also finished the zipper sweater by Petite Knit in my lovely purple color. If I have a picture I can show you, I'll put it up here, but otherwise in my most recent knitting podcast up here, I also talked about it. My zipper sweater is finished and it's currently at my grandma's place because she is installing the zipper for me. It's been proven to be pretty difficult to install the zipper, so I don't know when I'll get it back. My grandma just gave me a ring today being like, I don't know if this is gonna work. If I cannot do it, I'll like give it to a repair, like a clothing repair store, and they will do it for you. And I'm like, no pressure, we're not in a hurry, it's okay. So I don't know when I'll have that back, but I finished the zipper sweater. The zipper is currently like being installed or looked at to be installed by my grandma at her place. So I don't have it with me here. Maybe I'll technically not count it as finished for 2023 because the zipper is part of the sweater and that's not finished. So maybe you'll see the zipper sweater in 2024 if I decide to include that. We'll see. But these are all the finished items that I have for you today. Stay tuned for my next knitting podcast. You kind of got a little preview of that just now. And stay tuned because next week I'm dropping my next knitting podcast. I'll go in a bit more detail about the things that I've recently finished. I will tell you about my like current works in progress, my first things that I'll be knitting in 2024, and like every other thing I want to talk about in that video. Thank you so much for watching. This was really fun to film. This was really fun to kind of research what I actually knit this year. I expected it to be a bit more, but here we are. I'm really happy with what I knit. I don't feel like as knitting podcasters we should be pressuring ourselves to be like churning out new finished items every single month, every single week for Instagram or other content related kind of things. We should just take it easy. 10 finished items in a year is more than I did 2 years ago because then I didn't knit at all. So 10 finished items a year pretty good. We'll see what I do next year, but I'm not pressuring myself to finish a bunch of items. I've seen on Instagram the 24 items for 2024 hashtag going around, or like challenge going around. I'll not be participating in that because I don't know, I just kind of feel like it's a harsh goal to set for myself, because I'll just be knitting to make finished objects instead of working on things that I want to have in my wardrobe, you know? I don't know, I feel like for me that's not the best challenge to do. Maybe for you it is. Maybe you're someone who likes that kind of challenge, or you're someone who, maybe like me, doesn't really finish objects quite that easily. You just abandon them a little bit and this will motivate you to finish your objects. If that's the case, go for it. Would love to see. Probably gonna be following the hashtag anyway, but I'm not gonna be participating in that. Just wanted to mention that real quick. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really had a lot of fun doing this, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye guys!